Hello and welcome to the Magical Midlife podcast, where you get a refreshing, uplifting and optimistic perspective on life in your 40s and 50s. I'm your host, Lindsay DeSwart, and I'm delighted that you've joined us here today, so let's jump right in. Hey, it's Lindsay. How are you today? Welcome to the Magical Midlife podcast. I'm delighted to see you again. Thank you so much for joining me in today's episode. Today is slightly different actually because after last time's episode was about the crystal and indigo children, and thank you so much for tuning in, and I know that also was shared with lots of new listeners, so I really hope you enjoyed it. I'd love to know your feedback, and thank you so much for listening. Anyway, so today I'm going with feedback and producing episodes really based on what people want, which surely seems like the most obvious thing in the world. Don't know why I didn't think of it before. So also saying that, if you're not in the Magical Midlife group already, the Facebook group, please click on the link in the show notes and come and join in the Magical Midlife group. And that way, any feedback to do with the show or anything, it means I can just come straight back to you and just reply. On with today's show. So this show is going to be the first of a series, and the series is based on something called the Wheel of Life. Now, I don't know if you know the Wheel of Life. I first came across it, I think, on a Tony Robbins exercise eons ago, and lots of people have done their own version of it. So the version of it that I've taken has got 8 segments to it. So if you think of like a pie, like the Trivial Pursuits pieces of pie maybe, and the Wheel of Life has 8 sections in it, and the 8 sections that I'm working with, although, as I say, you get lots of different versions, but the 8 sections I'm working with are, I'm just going to read them off to you: career and business, spirituality and personal growth, money and finance, home and environment, love and relationships, friends and family, fun and play, and health and fitness. And the idea is that when all of those areas in your life are kind of balanced on the wheel, so they're all kind of an even level, let's say, because if you mark them, say, from 1 to 10, and how do you assess where you are on that wheel of life in that particular section? So you can imagine if on your wheel of life I'll put a picture link down in the show notes so you can actually see what I'm talking about if you don't know what it looks like, or just Google Wheel of Life and it'll come up. If you've got, say, a 2 on one area, but then you've got an 8 or a 9 on another area, you can imagine that it's going to be a fairly bumpy ride because at least when you look at this and you kind of do a self-assessment almost, you realise where you're probably either putting in a lot of energy already or what you're really ignoring, because it tends to really jump out at you at the area of your life that you're ignoring. And what you'll find is the area of life that you're ignoring or purposely not focusing on, shall we say, that'll be holding you back in other ways. Because even though you can say everything else in my life is fine except for one of those sections, that one section will start to impact those other sections, because it starts to almost, it's almost like having a leak in a balloon, that it tends to take away the momentum and the vibrancy and the good stuff, because it can become a real distraction actually, and it just starts to slow other stuff down. So although I'm all about being with what is and allowing things, to not to have to always strive and force stuff, if you know that there is a big problem, this Wheel of Life is quite a good measure to show you what's actually out of alignment. And also you can look back over time, because your Wheel of Life does change. I mean, for many, many years, mine was really, really high on things like family. And now that I'm living in England and I just have my daughter with me, obviously, although that relationship's really strong, my Wheel of Life family score is much lower, because how can it not be, So anyway, that's just an example, but you will find it. And also health and fitness. I mean, our health and fitness in menopause get significantly challenged. And there are certain things that your health and fitness may never have been an issue to you because it may have been something that came very easily. And now, all of a sudden, your health and fitness, or certainly health, well, and fitness, is being thrown up at you as something that actually needs your attention. So I'm going to do an episode on each one of these sections, and in each one of these sections I'll share with you resources and ideas and reframes and just ways to actually help you through them. Because sometimes you can maybe just get a book recommendation or just take a few different actions per day, and that starts to increase where you are on that particular section. And by doing that, it makes everything else in life go more smoothly. So today's section is all about career and business. And the reason that that's coming up first is because that can be really, really underpinning at this age. It might be some people, you get to a stage in your career where you're just like, I've done this for years. I can do it standing on my head. I really don't want to go for, sort of director or partnership or whatever. So you don't want to put in more commitment, but you've been doing what you've been doing for so long that actually you don't really want to do it anymore. It does, you just don't really have the love for it now. And of course, you've changed as a person over the years. So there's that. The other thing, of course, is going back to work. If you haven't been really focusing on your career whilst your kids have been at home, because you've been raising the kids, and now that the kids are at university or have left home, all of a sudden your focus is completely different. So you might want to focus on something which is more about you, gives you time freedom, but also brings in money. So one of the suggestions, because I'm going to come up with 7 suggestions of things that have been really successful for people, and definitely people have considered and been drawn to. And in fact, so one of those is obviously to become a coach or let's say a yoga teacher, Pilates instructor, something like that, because you want to spend your time teaching and sharing your energy in something that you really love and enjoy, which is cool. So, what do you need to go and do to make that viable? Do you need to go and do some pro qualification or go on a weekend retreat for training or whatever it is? So there's one particular client of mine who is very, she's still very high up in her corporate career, but the way that things go with her family life, she knows that she doesn't want to be spending that much time traveling and stuff with her career. So it's a question of now what's really her interest and what is it that she loves to do. So now she's asking herself, okay, so what is it that really brings me meaning or brings me value that I could perhaps teach or become qualified in to be able to, use it in a different way and maybe even earn an income from it. So that's one way. So there's another 6 ways that I'm going to share with you. One of them is to, if you're in the corporate world or you have been in the corporate world, is maybe to even consult. Because if you've been doing it for a long time, and you've got to quite a senior position in it, but now it's quite stressful and you just really, you don't want to be doing it. It's not the challenge, or you can't be bothered with it. Or you don't want to really listen to somebody else and have to play the whole politics thing. Because let's face it, that comes into it as well. You get to the stage where you're like, oh, really? Do I need to do that now? So if that's the stage that you're at, then maybe going out on a consulting gig, you can work your own hours, you can determine your own time. That might be an option. So there's either training in something that you love and is really meaningful and that you can share with other people. 2 is to become a consultant in something that you already know how to do. So there's a couple of extra ones that I'm going to throw in here because I think it's worth considering, and it's probably something that you would never have considered before. One of them is doing things like writing. You can actually get paid to write blog posts or do social media moderation, and you can do all of that from home. You can do it freelancing. So I found a company that, well, there's quite a few companies that do it, but I'll put a link down for it because it's certainly worth investigating. Again, one of the ladies that comes to Circle, I know, is quite a fan. She's written books. And so as a side gig, that might be something that's really easy for her to do. Now, there's another one, which I'm actually going to consider, and it is being recorded doing Audible books. So reading for Audible books. So I'm in some audition processes at the moment. So I'll let you know how that goes, but that will be really fun. And especially because I've already got the podcast set up and everything. To me, that doesn't even feel like work. And as far as I can see, that's exactly what work should feel like right now, which is not work. And then there's a couple of others. There's something called digital marketing. Now, digital marketing, that makes it sound very, very fancy. It is creating your own products and selling those based on what you know and based on using things like social media to promote those. So you could be creating products on Canva and then maybe selling on Etsy, or you could be sharing it on social media. And it could be stuff like, how to organize, how to budget, how to fix something, whatever. There are so many things that you can do. And if you actually start researching it, you will be amazed at the sort of products that people are looking to buy and are buying. And you can also, now that we've got AI, you can use ChatGPT for a lot of this to help you with ideas and research. I mean, it's absolutely fascinating. Anyway, so that's digital marketing. Now, digital marketing is something that I've dived into and I really am excited about. So I did a course which I really enjoyed. It's called the Roadmap course. And the Roadmap, it allowed me to do things like set up this resources page I've now got, to set up payments, to link to emails, to websites. It's almost like a business in a box, actually. It teaches you like a digital business in a box. So that is in my link at the bottom of the page. You'll find that if you want to go and check that out. And it's something that I've done, really enjoyed, been through, highly recommend, if it's something you want to consider. The other thing that you could look at is affiliate marketing. Now, affiliate marketing, the best example I can give, if you're not familiar with it, and you probably are familiar with it, there's so much of it around now, but if you're not familiar with it, let's say, for example, I'm just going to use ASICS trainers as an example, because I've run in ASICS trainers for 30 years, love them, recommend them to everybody. And so that's the sort of thing. I know ASICS have an affiliate program. So if I go to the ASICS affiliate program, and you literally look that up in Google, whatever it is, company affiliate program, see if they've got one. So I've done the ASICS affiliate program. And then from there, it gives me a link. And then this link is a link that I can share for anything that I'm talking about fitness or anything I'm talking about running. I can share that ASICS link in my post or in my, I can email it to somebody or whatever. And then from there, if they bought a pair of ASICS trainers, then I'd get paid by ASICS. And it doesn't increase the cost of anything. It's basically like kind of like modern day advertising, actually. It's almost like you become your own independent advertising agency. So you may have been introduced or seen people doing MLMs or anything like that, multi-level marketing. So, for example, I used to sell a collagen product, which I really liked. I absolutely loved this collagen product. And that was something that I could share. So that was called network marketing, which again is another business option. I used to sell this collagen, which I loved. Now that I'm back in England, because it's coming from the States, I can't warrant bringing it in and shipping it because it doesn't feel like an environmentally sound decision. So I've had to find a different collagen. However, it was a collagen product I loved. Now, when I sold that product to somebody, the company got paid and I got paid. However, the difference between that and affiliate marketing is whoever introduced me to the product would also get a fraction of everything that was sold further down the line. And I kind of had to recruit people in order to make it a bigger business. And that's very also, I'm sure you've all been involved in like home parties. Well, I guess Tupperware was the original one. And then there's clothing companies and jewelry companies and everything. So that's network marketing. That's slightly different. Affiliate marketing, the only relationship you have is between you, the company who's selling the product, and your customer. And that's it. And all you do is you introduce a product to your customer. And when I say your customer, it could be a friend, could be anybody, could be on social media, could be a friend, could be family, could be whatever. I mean, like ASICS, for example. In my running club, I might say, oh, I loved ASICS. Look, this is a link. And quite often they'll say, you go and get a discount if you use this link. And then I'll get a payment back from ASICS. So that's different because I don't have to recruit anybody. It doesn't depend on me selling to anybody. All I say is, I love this product. Here's a link. It's as simple as that. Whereas with network marketing, it's very much about you have to recruit people then to sell it, and it becomes more of that like pyramid idea. And that might work for you. To be fair, some of the network marketing companies are hugely successful, really lucrative, and especially women who seem to be in them do really well because it's social selling. And, how can that be a bad thing? If you're in conversation and you're recommending stuff, then, it's really not hard work. That's quite a few more things now. So we have got, let's just go over them. So we've got the be a coach or teach something you love, be a consultant. You could write and be paid. You can also do reviews actually on stuff to be paid. You've got the digital marketing option, affiliate marketing option. So all I wanted to do with today's episode is to give you a whole bunch of options, which are real options, and they will give you the time freedom you want, but they can also make you, enough money, side money. Many of them, some of them you can't really grow to, depending on what your corporate salary was. But if you're trying to supplement your income, or you're just trying to add to it, or you just want to start saving, get some more squirreled away for retirement or anything like that, all of these will give you the option to do that. So I really hope that's helpful. If there's any one of those that you're particularly interested in, I'll put some links down in the show notes. But if any of them you really, you want to ask about, or you've got questions or whatever, come into Magical Midlife Group or just message me directly. And I'm very happy to share any of the information that I've found out about them. Most of them I've tried. Honestly, the consulting I haven't tried because I was never in the position corporately to do that. But most of them I've tried, so I'd be very, very happy to share with you the experience of what I liked, what I didn't like. And some of them I do have resources that I can share with you that will, make it easier for you to do. Now, the other thing, and I'd love you to let me know if it's something that you're interested in, is about recording how to set up a podcast course, or just to, write a short ebook about that. So if any of you got interest in setting up a podcast, let me know, and I'll actually put together a little training course for you, or a webinar or something. It's something that I love doing, and thankfully I have the time to do that now. So, this podcast is all about how can I help you create your midlife to be more magical. So let me know what it is you'd like, and if I can help, or I know somebody that can help, then absolutely I'll bring it to an episode and we share from there. Okay, so look, I really hope that's helpful. As I say, that's the first in this series. There are another 7 to go. Each one will cover a different area. I will give you resources. So I hope you have a fab week. I will see you in the next episode. And next week we are having an interview with a lovely lady who is a super inspiring fitness trainer. And I was on her Instagram live some weeks ago, I think now. Anyway, so I'm going to be sharing her episode with you. And she's so inspirational. I think you're going to love it. So I will see you on the next episode. Can't wait. And again, thanks so much for being here today. I hope you enjoyed the show today. Just before you go, can I ask a favour? Could you possibly subscribe to the show and leave a review if you really enjoyed it? Those things are absolutely the lifeblood of the show. They allow the show then to get a bit more publicity and get sent out to other people. So I'd love it if you could be a part of growing this podcast and sharing the Magical Midlife message. Now also, we've got a new feature down in the show notes, which is an online store which now supports everything to do with Magical Midlife. There are personal and business resources on there for you, so please go and check it out. As I say, it's right down at the bottom in the show notes. There's free downloads, there's paid for downloads, there is physical books, and there's even links for coaching and business training as well. Okay, so thanks so much for being a part of the Magical Midlife, and I can't wait to catch up with you in the next episode. Take care.